When I played FNaF 4, I found a few details in the game that seemed odd to me. The fact that Nightmare Foxy seemed overpowered compared to the others, especially in 420 mode. I was never able to win that night until I made it through without him getting in the room. Also, for some reason, I was only properly jump scared by Nightmare Freddy a few times. It was almost like Scott didn't balance the characters very well. But just now, I realized it may have been on purpose. Remember how in the Night 5 minigame where the kid gets his head bit, the kid wearing the Freddy mask was kind of a bystander and didn't even have white eyes? This ties in perfectly with the Knights. Let me explain. Here's a quick list of the bullies. Starting with the most aggressive, we have Foxy, the kid's older brother who is constantly jump scaring him, and is probably the one who started the bullying in the first place. Then we have Bonnie. Bonnie is definitely the second meanest. Just look at what he says to our protagonist. Then we have Chica, who doesn't say or do anything specific, but he does have white eyes. This is what Freddy lacks, making him the least aggressive. Freddy was always the nicer of the bullies. It seems like he was never really mean until he was around his 3 friends. Wait, 3 friends? I see yet another connection here. And last but not least, we have Plushtrap, who isn't technically a nightmare. Plushtrap is a friend the kid can cuddle with and possibly help him sleep for a few hours without nightmares. If we think about it, Plushtrap is the only character that wasn't mean to the child. He was never afraid of Spring Bonnie, and none of the bullies had a Spring Bonnie mask. Since we know that Balloon Boy is also canon, this makes sense, and the child could find some sort of comfort from facing him. Just another reason to add to the list is that, of course, Nightmare Mingle can't be canon considering these connections. He's never had any bad emotions tied to the Mangle character. Now, what does this say about Fredbear? Well, he comes for an entire night and is definitely more aggressive than Foxy. A lot of people think that the FNaF 4 kid is really just afraid of people being in the animatronics, hence the 5 fingers. But if we take the theory I've been talking about, it's the people behind the masks that he's afraid of, having nothing to do with the actual characters themselves, who are actually still his friends. That is, with the exception of Fredbear, but we'll get to that. So we know now that Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy are the bullies that were always terribly mean to him. Plushtrap and BB are neutral characters, they never really harmed him. But does he know the one who wears Fredbear? I'd say yes. He does know. Do you know why Purple Guy is purple? It's not because he's some kind of alien. As many FNaF theorists believe, Purple Guy is the color that he is because he's a shady guy. But this probably isn't the case to just anyone who looks at Purple Guy. Instead, Purple Guy is only shady to people who knows his true colors. Like for instance, in the minigames that we play as an animatronic, he appears purple. Why? Because those animatronics know. That being said, the kid knows. And just to clear something up, no, the kid does not stop crying around Purple Guy. I know that was a rumor that was floating around for a while, but it isn't true. So our protagonist knows who the murderer is, because he saw him commit the act, while wearing Fredbear. The child is extremely afraid of Purple Guy, and in his nightmares he dreams of Fredbear coming after him to murder him, just like the others. This explains Nightmare Fredbear. Going off the same formula, I want to consider Nightmare. Nightmare is still shrouded in mystery, it's difficult to figure out anything about him. We do know one thing though. He is the most aggressive Nightmare. The most terrifying human in his life, right? Well, no. I don't think so. More like the most terrifying thing in his life. And I'm not talking about the Fredbear animatronic. Let's take a moment to consider Nightmare's appearance. What is one of the first things that pops out to you? For me, it would have to be his transparency. What could this mean? Well, ghosts are transparent, right? And look, inside of him you can't see anyone. There's only endoskeleton inside. To me, this is a perfect representation of a ghost. Oh, and what's this? A gold bow and top hat? How on earth was this not obvious? Nightmare is the spirit that possesses Golden Freddy. Yes, Golden Freddy. The same spirit, in fact, that has haunted the poor child ever since he witnessed his murder. Right inside of his beloved Fredbear plushie. The possessed Fredbear. That's right. Ghosts have never been anything but evil in this series, so why would it change now? Fredbear seemed so nice, always helping the kid through tough times. Or is that just what it looks like on the outside? These are my friends. But Fredbear? Why didn't you say that about him? Those white eyes filled with evil, always watching him. His words are only manipulating the child. He hates you. He left without you. Look at this. Even though the child wants to go over this way, the spirit tells him not to. No! In all caps. Something we've never seen, aside from when the child was locked in the back room. The spirit is ordering him around. He can't disobey him. After this, the spirit triggers the terrible memories of the child just to make him fear a random and innocent Fredbear employee. The spirit is helping aid in the growth of fear and anxiety in the poor child. He is not in any way helping him. In fact, he even tricks the child into thinking the shadows on the wall are actual ghosts. He's making him panic about getting out of the restaurant, as if something was about to happen. And when he gets outside, there he is. The connections between the Fredbear plush and Golden Freddy are staggering. And just looking at Nightmare, we should have known. I could go on and on about theories and ideas, but I have to end this episode somewhere. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will surely be making more in the future. I hope you all have an awesome night. Goodbye!